It's invitations like this one that gets the blood pumping. Firstly, I've got the key to a brand new sports car. That would get anyone excited. Secondly, the brand has actually closed off a very impressive road for us. I am at a Lotus Drive day, and this is something that as a Lotus customer, you get access to, but they've been kind enough to invite me along for the day. So in this video, you're going to come on the journey with me, but first, let me tell you where we are and of course show you the car that I'll be piloting. This afternoon out of the office takes place at Lake Mountain, a remarkable and picturesque destination around 2 hours northeast of Melbourne. There's no lake at Lake Mountain, but this mountain peak is home to a popular ski resort and, more importantly, one of the greatest driving roads in Victoria, known as Lake Mountain Road. A remarkable road calls for a car that's up for the task, and that's where this comes in. This here is the Lotus Emira, a mid-engined, good-looking sports car, and it is the last road-going Lotus with petrol power, so the last hurrah, if you will. Now this one here is the flagship, the first edition. It has the 3.5 litre supercharged V6 borrowed from Toyota, capable of 298 kilowatts and 430 newton meters, available in either a manual or auto transmission. Now before I hit the road, let's have a quick look inside. Okay, jumping in the cabin. This is actually my first time driving a Lotus. I've sat in plenty, but first time I'm going to be piloting one. This is actually really quite roomy for a small sports car. It's got the Alcantara steering wheel, lots of Alcantara throughout. Feels very comfy. Your fighter jet stop-start button, 12.3 inch touchscreen, and something really cool that I found on here as well is when you do your climate control, it's got a person sitting there that's got a helmet on, but this one is the 6-speed manual. I'll get to switch between both throughout the day, so I guess get my helmet on, get ready and hit the road. First things first, on drive days like this one, Lotus customers have access to experts to assist with their craft. I opted for a joyride first with professional racing driver and driver coach Sam Brabham. I like to think I was paying attention to emulate some of his driving style, but really I was just holding on for dear life and enjoying the ride. So Sam, some advice for a rookie like me heading on a road like this in a car as powerful as this?
I think my biggest tip would probably be, one, just take your time with it. You're going to get plenty of opportunity to feel where the road's going, get a feeling for what the car's like, but also your vision's going to be really important. Because we're on a road, don't be afraid to use all of the road, because normally you're only on one side, whereas this time we've got the full use of it to be able to have for ourselves. So don't be afraid to use the right-hand side of the road, because most people stay on the left. But try and look through the corners as best as you can, because then your vision picks up and you'll be able to sort of kind of get an idea of where you're going a little bit easier than looking sort of straight ahead all the time. Mm-hmm. And don't be afraid to turn your head when you do that as well.
Yeah, okay. Middle of the road, corners, don't throw up, nah.
And send it.
And send it. A quick switch, and Sam was kind enough to offer some tips and tricks. Always handy when you're driving a very expensive car on a road that's challenging at the best of times, more so when you're driving at high speeds. The speed limit is capped at 130 kilometres, and don't worry, I'm a stickler for sticking with the rules. How did I go?
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah, that was good. Well, I think as you start to go, you got the hang of it a bit more and more. Yeah. To be fair, like we don't really know where we're going, so it's sometimes difficult to know exactly the path to take. Because normally you're used to just rules, staying on one side of the road, whereas when there's no rules, it changes how you kind of drive a little bit.
No rules in a car like this is good. So I got a thumbs up, but that was just the rehearsal. This time round, it's just me, the Lotus, and the scintillating, winding road ahead. Supercharger, surely. It's noisy, but hey, I've been test driving a lot of electric cars lately, so give me some engine noise, please. It's not overbearing either, that noise, but it is quite a nice exhaust note coming from that supercharger. Now, let me remind you, this here is their flagship, so this is a first edition. It's a
298 kilowatts, 430 newton meters. 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds, which, yeah, I think that would be correct. This thing is quick. A lot of people say those numbers aren't huge, but I promise you that is certainly enough power. It just kicks in immediately. Now, these roads, I've driven this road a lot, especially for Drive TV actually. I've driven quite a few cars up and down here. I've actually driven this road, I believe that it is a part of Targa, maybe not anymore, but I have driven around here for Targa. But driving this in a sports car like this, you want this kind of car on these kinds of roads. It's very windy, there's lots of hairpins, the descent, and then you get to go all the way back up the hill, lots of undulations, a little bit bumpy as well, but this car is handling that perfectly. Now we're on a speed limit. The speed limit though is 130 k's. I get to drive on the road, winning. Can I just say, I haven't stopped smiling. This is what a sports car should be. It ticks that box. It needs to be fun. It should be exciting. It should be engaging. And I'm happy to say it is all of those things. I am so impressed, firstly, the way that it handles. So you see corners like this, very tight. And you know what? Grip at the front end and the traction heading out of these corners is sublime. It's very grippy as well. So this steering is actually hydraulic, not electric. But I actually don't mind it at all. There's a bit of feedback, but I feel like it makes it feel a lot more pure. And the driver's in control. This is a driver's car. And I think that they've done all the right things to make this car really fun and engaging. It's sure-footed. It's really capable. It's really compliant. Turn it in here. Brakes are good too. I just got into a really good corner. Brakes are excellent. Turn it in, point, shoot, and it just does everything that you tell it to do. This has been just one of those experiences. Felt nervous at the start. As soon as I got behind the wheel, the confidence. I think the confidence with this car, I feel very connected to the road. I've really felt like I can take corners and it will handle it. It's basically handled everything I've thrown at it today. So final thoughts. Firstly, I need fuel. Gonna have to do a fuel stop. But final thoughts on this car. I am very impressed. I can't say that word enough. It's fun. It's engaging. It's exactly what you want, what you expect from a sports car. I can see myself driving this during the week and then heading out on track days on the weekends. But I do feel like it really has ticked all of those boxes, doing everything and giving you everything that you want from a sports car. And the fact that Lotus customers get to come and do this, I mean, that's pretty cool, to be part of a community where you actually get to buy a car like this, but take it somewhere that you can stretch its legs and test out its dynamics properly. Woo!
As mentioned, I tagged along for the day. Thanks, Lotus. But days like these are put together especially for Lotus customers. Whether you're a beginner or an expert, they offer accessibility and ample support, so you can essentially arrive and drive. And it really feels like a great community to be a part of.
My name's Laura Rogers. I'm driving a 2021 Lotus Exige Final Edition with my husband, navigating. So we got into this sort of thing probably about 2019. Bought a Lotus Cup 250, did a couple of tour type events with Targa and the Lotus team, and then of course we had COVID, so it was a little bit of a quiet stint, and then we did a Targa tour again with Lotus down in Tas, and in that one we ended up buying an Exige. It's amazing, and I don't know, the control that you have when you're driving, and again, it doesn't matter whether you're at the front or at the back. For all the females that are out there thinking of coming and doing one of these days, thinking of driving, absolutely come and do it. It is an absolute blast.
If you want to take that passion for driving to another level, there are various avenues, including track days, Targa rally events, driver training, and other driving activities to enjoy your car to its full potential.
So at all of our track days, we run multiple groups, from the very beginner group where there's no timing, there's driver coaching. The idea is we want you to be comfortable with your car, all the way through to timed sprint race groups for the people who just want to keep honing their racecraft and eventually go on potentially to do some actual pro racing. We've had some people progress all the way through the ranks of racing, and we've had people progress all the way through the ranks of Targa as well, from doing a tour all the way to outright competition. And it's our job to make sure that they can do that in a safe way and in an enjoyable way. I think the Lotus community welcomes everybody like no other community. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous, there's no need to feel that way. Just come along to one of our events. I'm sure there's somebody there who's been in the same position as you before, and they're just going to wrap their arms around you and show you the ropes. And before you know it, you'll be wanting to come to more and more.
So, final question, how did I go?
Well, the car's in one piece. You're smiling. We had to pry the helmet off your head, so I figure you had a bit of fun and you did well.
So I definitely see a sports car in my future. Now that was a great experience, something that you get to do as a Lotus customer and a potential Lotus customer as well. But if you don't own a Lotus, never fear, because they are very hospitable, very inclusive. They also have track days in New South Wales and Victoria throughout the week, and you can bring your non-Lotus sports car and get involved at those track events as well. If you want to know anything more about the Emira, be sure to head on over to Drive.com.au, and as always, let us know what you think and comment below. Thanks for watching.